Hello, my name is Emma Epps, and I'll be presenting my final project in professional and technical communication on communication and management. Management is defined as the activities associated with running a company, such as controlling, leading, monitoring, organizing, and planning. Managers I've worked with in the past usually deal with staffing, hiring the staff, managing the staff throughout the day and other things like that, scheduling, mostly staff, and then ordering products if they run low or just in general. The research process I used for this project, I interviewed managers I've worked with both now and in the past. My manager at the golf course I work for back home, Steve Anderson, and my manager at the skating center I work for, Lake Johnson, as well as personal experience of communicating with managers and researching peer-reviewed articles. While conducting research for this project, the different types of communication that came up over and over were virtual communication, which can mean virtual teams, both abroad or locally, email and phone calls. While talking to Steve and working close with him, I noticed that he uses email all the time. He's always replying to emails, sending out emails, as well as phone calls here and there. And the second type of communication was face-to-face communication. For managers, everyday connections are very important, whether customers have questions or have need to see something and talk to the manager, as well as staff. Managers usually work close with staff, and having good communication with staff is important in a manager role, as well as meetings. I know Steve and Lake both said they have meetings with the city all the time about how things are going at both the golf course and the skating center, so that's very important to have communication skills for those. Continuing on with types of communication, knowing your verbals and nonverbals is very important for every communication style. For verbals, your tone of voice can change situations in conversations. The conversation engagement, just being attentive and having active listening is very important for any conversation, especially in management, especially when people are asking you questions and you need to answer questions. And just the spoken word, both Lake and Steve told me that you need to sort of pick when you're having conversations and what you're saying in those conversations, especially in a management position. Saying something that you didn't want to say or saying something in the heat of the moment can really affect you, as well as nonverbals, body language, just being attentive and looking like you're listening, not slouching. Eye contact is very important in any field of conversation. And also the attire, especially in the business setting, you people are looking at you and what you're wearing, so wearing the proper attire for the situation you're in is important. Importance of effective communication. So, two things I gathered from both my peer review research as well as interviews were communication is key in management positions, whether it is in person or virtually, getting your point across in a concise way is the goal. Persons in management positions set the tone for the workplace, and poor communication can cause problems and slow processes. So, basically, this is saying that getting your goal across is so important in the communication setting, especially as a manager. You don't want signals getting crossed and people being confused because that just causes problems and can make everything go downhill. Also, the way people in management positions carry themselves when communicating can make a change to the way they are viewed. By presenting a trustful, positive attitude but still being professional will allow employees to respect you more and make communication easier. So this is a lot from personal experience. The way managers talk to staff in general is so important. That can make or break the workplace setting, and just having a manager who is professional but still like down to earth is super important. So that goes along with those verbals and nonverbals also. For the infographic pros and cons, I thought the infographic was easy to make and it laid information out nicely for people to read. Some of the cons I thought were picking the correct information to put on there, having information that was gave the gist of what I wanted to say, but also was not confusing and was easy for everybody, even if they know about management or not. And making it easy to read and understand, having it laid out in a way that people could just move down the infographic and get the gist of everything I was trying to say. Overall, I thought this was a nice way of just getting the summary of what you want to say out and then being able to talk about it later in this project taught me a lot about styles of management communication. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.